Welcome, friends, to our first review of a national park located east of the Mississippi as we are heading to the historic state of Kentucky and Mammoth Cave National Park. Mammoth Cave is located about halfway between Nashville, Tennessee, and Louisville, Kentucky, and just northwest of Cave City, Kentucky, along Highway 255, which is also known as Mammoth Cave Parkway. It is in an unassuming area of farms, rolling hills, and some forest land. The park has 13 backcountry campsites, a special group camping area, and this traditional campground with 111 sites with 2 designated ADA sites, which I have noted in dark blue. Light blue are not the ADA sites, but are accessible, as you will see a little bit later. As you get on the elevator for the accessible tour, it is just like any other elevator ride, but instead of going up 25 stories, you will go down 268 feet, which is almost 27 stories underground. It is dark and kind of eerie, so make sure you bring a jacket and are not afraid of the dark or claustrophobic. The tour is along a well-marked path and attended by 2 park rangers. Our tour guide happened to be a ranger that actually grew up in the area around the cave, and the stories he told were quite interesting. The trail is flat and clear, and the lighting makes it easy to see where you're going. Everywhere you look, there are unusual rocks, interesting formations, and some holes, tunnels, and narrow passages that go up and down all around you. The majority of the rock inside the cave is limestone, which has been slowly dissolved by the slightly acidic rain. It seeps through the ground and has carved a massive area of caves and tunnels, and then the water drains into the nearby river. Along the walls and ceilings, you will see the calcite deposits, which are very fragile. Some of the formations are as thin as paper, but it forms into a popcorn-looking formation, and in other areas, it is a floral-looking formation. If you look closely, you can see some very thin tubes, which are caused by the ebb and flow of water in the caves. We heard many stories about the early explorers of the cave and got to witness the cave in total darkness, which was pretty cool. There is dark above ground, and then there is cave dark. In the caves, you cannot see your hand in front of your face. Make sure you take your time and take one of the tours, whether it is self-guided, informational, educational, or adventurous. There are close to 20 different tours, with 2 of them being wheelchair accessible. One of these tours is a short tour above the ground, while the other one starts at an elevator shaft a couple of miles away from the visitor center. Some of the calcite has hardened into rocks over the centuries, and when a light is placed on it, you can see that it is translucent. The park website has a lengthy description of the geology and the rock formations found in the various areas of the cave. I highly recommend you make reservations if you want to take any of the tours, as they get full quickly, and you would be smart to make reservations for a campsite as well. One tip if you are booking the wheelchair underground tour: check the park website before you arrive, because the elevator does have issues from time to time, and your tour may have been canceled. Likewise, if the website shows the tour canceled due to the elevator, call the day you are wanting to go, because the elevator may now be working and you can make a reservation. This happened to us. We made the reservation about an hour and a half before we were going to arrive. The park covers over 52,000 acres above the ground, but below the ground there are more than 400 miles of caves and tunnels that have been mapped, and who knows what remains to be discovered. Explorers in 1972 made discoveries that connected several large caves, and since that point, Mammoth Cave has been the longest cave system in the entire world. Taking a look at our campground map, you can see that Loop A has 10 tent-only sites. None of the sites in the campground have electricity. Water is available on a seasonal basis throughout the campground at some pumps that you can use. We found most of the sites to be accessible as well in Loop A. The main road is behind sites 3, 5, 6, and 7. Loop B sites are the traditional asphalt driveway that is built up to make them level, and we found most of the sites had a large drop-off coming off the asphalt driveway to the camping area, so most of them are not accessible. Loop C is in the middle, and it had some nice sites that were away from the roads. Loop D was similar, but this loop had several sites with some heavy erosion, and there were some drop-offs all around the driveway. Other than some narrow driveways with some drop-offs coming off of this driveway pad, the campground is just beautiful as it lies in the middle of a large forest. We will go through each loop and look at each site, and you can determine which ones you like and use the campground worksheet in the video description to help you find the perfect spot. This campground worksheet will tell you a little bit about each campsite. Let's take a look at Loop A, which is the tent-only campground. Sites 1, 4, 8, and 9 are group campsites, which is why they're so big. And they are really nice as well. Site number 6 is small but accessible. Site number 10 is very nice, pretty, and accessible, and right across from the bathroom. You can see how beautiful and wooded the area is. If you look carefully on the left, you can see a paved pathway with lights along the edge of it that goes to the bathroom. It's a little bit hard to see with the leaves, but you can see how narrow the driveway is and how the asphalt sticks up out of the ground pretty far. Site 24 actually has some grass and soil around the pad, so it was flat and accessible. Site 25 was big and it was gorgeous. Look at that. Site 28 was nice and flat. However, it did kind of slope down the hill a little bit. Site number 34 was another one we found that was flat. There's not much of a drop off there to that picnic table. Look at that big, beautiful area to pitch tent. Here's another view of that paved site with the lights that goes throughout the park. It's the dotted lines on the map. Site number 37 is the first ADA site. You can see the concrete that goes all the way to the picnic table. And then 38 is the one next to it. They're right along that path, that paved path that goes to the bathroom. Really nice setup there. You can see how they have concrete there for the picnic table. Two gorgeous sites there. Site number 41 is another really flat site. Right in the middle of the campground there. The bathroom's just back behind you. You can see some erosion issues there on the back of number 43 there where the picnic table is. It's almost a 2-foot drop off back there. Site number 44, it's just a little bit uphill going to the picnic table, but overall that campsite's pretty flat, easily accessible. Sites 45 and 46 are two nice big sites with just beautiful surroundings. Site number 48 is another really flat site. Site number 51 is a great campsite. It does have the paved path to the bathroom hooked directly to the drive-through there, so you're going to get some foot traffic through there. Site number 53 is the last one in this loop, and we'll head over to Loop C. Site number 58 has a very slight drop off on the picnic table side of the pad there. This is a really nice site here. Site number 60, 61, and 62 are all nice sites, but relatively small compared to some of the other campsites you'll find in the loop. If you look at the driveway at site number 63, you can see how much that's built up there. Makes it hard to get off of that. I thought site number 64 was a really nice site. Here's another good example of how the soil is eroded away from the asphalt pad there. It's a pretty good step up there. Other than the drop off from the driveway, this is another gorgeous site here. You get a little bit of sun in here if you have solar panels. I thought 68 and 69 were also some really nice sites, and even number 70. Be sure you take a look at the campground worksheet. You can find it in the description of this video. It tells you details about each individual campsite, so you don't have to go back through the video to remember everything. It's a little bit hard to see on 77, but the campsite drop-off from the driveway is not very bad around the front wheels of the motorhome there. So we thought this would be a nice accessible site here, nice and flat. Site number 80 had a bigger than normal drop off there from the asphalt heading down to the picnic table. That's kind of a steep hill going down to the picnic table there. You can see they put a timber there to slow it down. Site number 85 isn't totally under the trees, so it's a great spot to set up your solar panels and catch some sun since there's no electricity at this site, this campground. I really like number 87. So if you look back there, you're pretty secluded in all that shade back there. Site number 90 is the last one in the C loop. We're heading to D loop. Site 91 is the first site in the D loop. It kind of had me scratching my head because I was like, where are all those hoses going? So there's water, electric, and sewer at this site. Turns out it's used for park staff, but I was told by one of the camp hosts that if it is empty, that it is available to reserve. So that's really nice. Got concrete, accessible, got all your amenities there. '93 has the asphalt, double driveway there, and is decked around the picnic table there. It is accessible, but I don't know if I'd want to mess with all those barriers there. The D loop does back up to the visitor center parking lot. The driveway to 96 does go uphill just a little bit, but once you're at the top, that's a really nice flat campground there. It's very pretty too. And it's by the bathroom. Here's another view of that concrete pathway that goes to the bathrooms. It's lighted at night. You can see the water pump there as well. Be aware that site number 97 has a huge drop-off there where that ice chest is down to the picnic table. You can get a good look at it there. '98, '99 continue that big drop off. Looks like just soil erosion. It's taking all that soil downhill there. They are beautiful sites. thought that site number 107 was probably the worst site in all of them. You can see all the erosion, there's tree roots, stumps. It's just hard to get around that whole site. Plus there's a big drop off the asphalt pad there. Beautiful back behind it though. I hope this video has been helpful. Hopefully you found several sites that you like that work for your setup. Site number 111 will be the last site in this video. Once again, thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to my channel so you won't miss my next video, and check out some of the other parks and national parks that I've done. And until next time, so long.